And welcome back to Nighttime, now with baseball. Alongside Kathleen Moore, I'm Matthew Bracker, and you heard it right, baseball is back at UCF, ready to distract campus from whatever is going on over at Addition Financial Arena. How are you doing today, Kathleen? Ready to talk baseball?
Oh, not too bad. Let's bring baseball on, I guess.
Let's bring it on. Let's do it. UCF started their campaign with a 3-game homestand that saw them duke it out with the Siena Saints out of New York. Let's take a trip to the John and see how well our Knights did on opening weekend. Game 1, Dom Stagliano on the mound, and the first pitch of the 2025 season is blasted for a home run. Not a great showing for Dom, but UCF with a bunt here. That's Maduro, and he's going to race to first. Holy overthrow, it is offline, and UCF will send the runners. Matt Prevesk will score, and UCF chipping away at the lead. Now, we eventually tie in the inning, and Braden Calise lines it to left, and it'll drop. 2-run double gives the Knights their first lead of the season. Now Andrew Williamson to bat, and it's another double for UCF. It's going to drop in for an RBI, and when it's all said and done, it'll be a 7-run 6th inning for the Knights. But the fun doesn't stop there. Bases loaded. Prevesk is going to send it to left center, and it bounces in front of the outfielder, and he'll grab an RBI. Late offensive explosion gives UCF an opening night win.
And we're going to move now into Game 2 of the series. Clutch pitching from Wiley Hartley strikes him out with the bases loaded to the end of the inning. Antonio Jimenez with the bases loaded sneaks it past the third baseman, and Jimenez gets the scoring started with a 2-run single. Diamas Ross turns on a ball, and it's a slow roller to the outfielder who launches it home. But Dylan King is safe on the play. Great base running by him.
What a great slide.
Yeah, textbook. UCF is now up 7. Bases are loaded. Chase Cruson sends it to center, but the fielder can't track it. He had it. That outfielder is an embarrassment, and Cruson is going to clear the bases. It's a 3-run double, capping off a great day for him and all of the Knights as UCF wins it 11-0, an absolutely dominant showing.
Yeah, that guy looked goofy, but Game 3 now, UCF is going to have the lead early, and Matt Prevesk doing all he can to extend that lead. It's a bomb to right that gives UCF its first home run of the season, and Matt Prevesk gets 5 big booms from his teammates, give or take a few. Now, bottom of the 5th, Lex Bodeker once in on the action too. Drive to right field, and it is a home run. 5 home runs for UCF on the day, and the dugout is going crazy. And honestly, so is Matt, who he doesn't care about your logo wipe. He's going to blast it no matter what. Another home run for him, and the Unks in the outfield get a nice souvenir. 3-4-6 with 5 RBIs. Have a day, named twin. The UCF knows how to score without the deep ball too. Jimenez with a 2-run single up the middle of the field. That's a guy who knows the fundamentals of the game. You make contact, you don't go for the home run, and it'll cap a 16-run day for UCF, and the Knights break out the brooms for a sweep of the Siena Saints. They head back to New York losers as we protect the kingdom. 3-0 on the season, and a combined score of 42-5 to start the year. I mean, can't get much better than that, huh?
No, not a lot of complaints there.
No. Now we are going to welcome in Shae Mcclunn and Andrew Grieg to talk a little more about UCF baseball. How are we doing, you guys?
I'm doing good. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk UCF baseball.
Me too. I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports. I know a lot of people at HGF, it's not their favorite, but...
Hit or miss.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways, okay. Now, takeaways from this series sweep. What do you think is UCF baseball's biggest strength? We'll start with you, Shae.
I honestly think that their batting performance is probably their biggest strength. Over the 3 games, I think they've had a pretty formidable lineup. They amassed 44 hits and scored 40 runs, which gives them an average of 404. And because their batting strength is so high, I think they could become among one of the top offensive teams in the nation.
Ooh, hot take. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. From 1 to 9, they are one of the better hitting squads that I can see. There's also hitters off the bench that it's going to be a rotation of people going back and forth. But my personal strength for this team is their pitching. Obviously, we saw the 40 runs that were scored from UCF this weekend, but we also saw the pitching staff only give up 5 earned runs the whole weekend across a 3-game stretch, accounting for a sub-2 ERA. And it was just really beautiful to watch. You saw Dom Castellano get in there for his first outing of the season, went 3 straight perfect innings where he had 5 strikeouts. You saw Carter Stanford close out a night where he had a 1-2-3 inning striking out the side. It was just really fun to watch, really fun baseball. And both offensively and defensively, we made a lot of strides in the right direction over the offseason. And pitching is definitely something that you want to look out for this season. Obviously, we have Dominic Castellano as well as Stagliano, who were both on the All Big 12 preseason pitchers watch list and all preseason team. So just in general, the pitching is going to be great for this team, and there's a lot of depth in this team.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried opening night when we gave up, 4-1, but we pulled it back, and I thought we had a pretty good
Yeah, I think that this is really great classic baseball. I love that they don't play the game too flashy. Yeah, just sticking to the basics of the game I think is very important. But now I'm going to ask, how does UCF compare to the other baseball programs in the state of Florida?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I can take it. So obviously there is a little bit of a gap between the top 2 teams in the state and then everybody else. Florida State and UF are currently 9 and 10 in the rankings respectively, but there is a little bit of a gap, but UCF can compete with literally any team in the nation. Obviously, we had wins against FSU last year, and we were in their regional. Unfortunately, we did not win that regional, but we do have a really great team, and from top to bottom, I think this team can compete with literally anybody in the country and the state for that matter. Miami has been a great baseball program since their inception, and obviously FAU is currently 4-0, and they beat Miami, so they're one of the teams to look out for as well. But UCF is right in that mix, anywhere from they can be anywhere from the top in the state, possibly by the end of the season. Maybe not that far. Obviously, Florida State and UF are fielding really good teams this year, but they have all the ability to compete against any of those guys on any given night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's possible that we're up there on the list here now, but we're going to move on and get into our highlight nights. Who are your players to watch out for as the season continues? Andrew, we'll start with you because you have a guy that I really like here.
Yeah, I have Dominic Castellano. I mentioned him in the first question you guys asked, but he was phenomenal. Again, I want to highlight his night. He went 3 innings as a reliever, which is great. He only faced 9 batters, which is the minimum allowed if you're if you're going through 3 innings, which is awesome. He had a perfect night. He got saved by Diamas Ross in the first play of in the first out of his night, but then after that he was absolutely spectacular. He had 5 strikeouts in the next 8 batters. It was great to see.
Yeah, and I mean that's something you said too. Fielding is so important for pitchers too. They really bail them out sometimes. But Shae, we'll get into you. Who is your highlight player?
So I picked Kendry Maduro. I think he's a junior third baseman. He has been doing a really good job. When he was a sophomore at Northwest Florida State, he got 48 RBIs in 55 games. Now that's pretty good. I think since he got to UCF, he has gotten his first home run in the last game, and he also he has a 3.23 batting average. And his first home run as a night was the last game, and then it's his first time in the Division I. So I think he's gonna do a really good job, and I think he's gonna be something great soon.
Yeah, I love him, and I have a personal story about this. I was at opening night, and when this guy went up to bat, the entire bleachers stood up cheering. Every single person he has ever met, anyone he's ever known, was there cheering for him, and he got his first hit. It was really nice to see. But my standout player, come on, it's my named twin, Matt Prevest. This guy is electric. All right, he had 2 home runs in the last game, going 3 for 5, or 3 for 6, like we said, with 5 RBIs. And the thing about Matt is last season, he hit only 5 home runs in 200-plus at-bats. He already has 2 in 11. So this guy's power, something he did in the offseason really worked. I think that this is a guy who, I know me and Justice don't agree on this. I think he can hit over 20 this season.
Wow.
I do. Yeah,
Big words from the name
maybe
twin.
Like 50%. I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm pretty positive.
All right, well, we're going to move into my pick now. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but I'm going Braden Calise. His batting average is .636, which is just kind of ridiculous for the start of the season. But I think this guy's going to be a really big factor into our game this season, and I just can't wait to see what he can accomplish because he's a redshirt junior. Yeah. So he's been with us for a little bit. He played for Louisville for a bit. So I think he's finally settling into UCF, and this is his home. He's going to do great.
I love the start of any season because the stats are always just so inflated. Yeah. It's so fun to see who's batting .636. But we're going to move on to a swing or a miss, and just some hot takes that we think could hit or miss this year. So we'll start with this. I kind of brought it up. We'll go pretty quick here. We have a player on this team hit over 15 home runs this season. Andrew, we'll start with you. Is this a swing or a miss?
I think this is a miss, unfortunately, Matthew, because that is only half the number that you've just said that Matt Previs is going to hit. But on Sunday, the wind was really blowing to the outfield. He even mentioned it. He wasn't even trying to go in the postgame. We talked about it, and he wasn't even trying to go deep on that second home run. He accidentally hit that one. So Matt Previs is not as big of a power guy. He does hit for average. He batted over 340 last year, and that was a little bit down from towards the end of the season. So I don't think that any batter gets to 15, much less 20, but I appreciate the confidence.
Shae, what do you think?
I'm also going to say miss. I think, last season, or last year's, I think the top home runners only got up to 5. So, even with some great people in this lineup, I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. It's
Yeah,
You guys are haters.
It's an impressive stat. Like, you can only go so far with that. But
15? Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on to the
Alright,
next one. Will UCF baseball go 10-0 for the first time in program history?
Now we do at the time of this episode coming out, we will have played Missouri, so it might be 9-1.
Yeah.
But
You don't know.
either is like legendary
But
for UCF.
Andrew, is this a swing or a miss?
Yeah, I think that 10-0 is also a miss just because of the competition we're facing. Coach Wallace has done a really good job about making sure the non-conference schedule is really good. Obviously, we play FAU next week, and then we have 3 straight weeks where we play at home against Florida teams between FAU, Miami, and Florida, which are all going to be super exciting matchups. Only a couple of those, only FAU and we're going to play USF on the road, are going to be like in that 10-game stretch that you guys are talking about, but I just don't see it happening because there are going to be games that you give up. Unfortunately, we're playing really good teams, so I don't see 10-0. Possibly 9-1, 8-2 would be a great start too.
Right. Shae, your thoughts?
I think it's a swing. I think we can pull it off. We already have a 3-0 performance, and I think it's definitely possible. As of right now, we have 3-0. Could, again, be 9-1. But I think, we're already having some crazy momentum, so I think we could kill it.
Right.
Yes, scheduling is tough. Obviously by the time this comes out, we will have played Missouri, so this might be a miss, but I'm going to swing here. But anyways, UCF baseball makes a deep Big 12 tourney run and potentially making it back to the NCAA tourney, having only gone to regionals 13 times, most recently in 2017 and 2024. Guys, is this a swing or a miss? Do we go back to the tourney?
I think this is a swing, my first swing of the day. This one should be, I think this one is almost assured. I don't want to go that far, but we did make it to the Big 12 semifinal last year, which was awesome for a team that was the 8th seed and beat the eventual champions in the day before that we ended up losing to them. But I think that if we can just stay afloat in the Big 12 and then also have a good Big 12 tournament, we should be able to make the tournament as well as do well in the Big 12 tournament.
Right. And Shae?
I also think it's a swing. We already, like he said, we made it, didn't win, but we are already building on these past wins and this past success. So if we just continue to do that, I think it's definitely possible.
I'll swing on that,
Yeah, no doubt. Well, thank you for all coming on the show. You guys really knocked the segment out of the park.
All right. Okay.
Okay, when we come back, we'll
really
break
bad.
down the rundown. That's after this.
So I guess the crew's getting ready for the next segment on one of our amazing shows. I'm Nick Cohen, host of season 20 of Hitting the Field, and let me tell you about those amazing shows. On behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content, but I'm here to tell you about everything else we offer here at the network. Mondays at 4, HTF Bets goes live for season 10 with 3 gamblers that, although it may not always seem like it, are here to help us all earn a little bit of extra money while we watch sports. Diego Ortiz, Tyler Brownrigg, and Andrew Gregg's ball knowledge and fun personalities make this show a fan favorite. On Tuesdays, you all loved it, so we brought it back for season 2. It's Girls Got Game, hosted by Frankie Noble, a show blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next is everyone's favorite sports podcast, The Combine, hosted by who other than Ty Patton, an easygoing, conversational, and technical podcast dropping Wednesdays, also on Spotify at The Combine. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for the network's main show, season 20 of Hitting the Field, hosted by me. Here, we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure. We love some football, basketball, hockey, F1. We also cover baseball, soccer, and we even have to show the UFC love sometimes. Penultimately, TGIF, because Friday is nighttime, hosted by Kathleen Moore and Matthew Bracker. Season 8 of Nighttime is where you'll turn to for all things March Madness, UCF sports, and other collegiate events. We're ending with something brand new. HTFN has never had 6 shows running at once. Also filmed in our new podcast studio is HTFC, hosted by Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon. Football, or soccer in America, is the most popular sport in the world. Across multiple leagues and cups, soccer is a year-round sport, and HTFC is your news source to stay updated. Also on Spotify, by the way, at HTFC. Outside of our 6-show roster, be sure to tune in to our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog, run by our vlog squad of Brianna St. Jean, Michaela Croker, Ashley Rowe, and Ben Huber. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and X to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe right here on YouTube, leave a like and comment. And with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I'm Nick Cohen. Thank you for your continued support, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And welcome to the Rundown. We've got a good one for you today, so let's just get right into it. UCF men's tennis just continues to astound us. They upset number 4 Ohio State in the quarterfinals at the ITAs. UCF ranked number 21 and was unfortunately defeated by number 11 Stanford.
But I mean, this was still an amazing accomplishment by UCF to make it to this tournament. They beat number 6 ranked Arizona to get in here. And at the time, that was their highest ranked win ever. And then like a week later, they beat number 4 Ohio State. This men's tennis team might genuinely be one of the greatest men's tennis teams that we've had in school history. They also played against number 9 San Diego in this tournament. So they played a lot of key players, a lot of great, teams. What do you think about that?
We are a tennis school.
Oh, here we go.
We're a tennis school. Screw basketball. Screw football. I'm on the tennis train. I'm on the tennis train now. Moving on, though, Texas A&M unveils absolutely atrocious new men's basketball jerseys. Could be a problem with Adidas. I mean, they're
it is
terrible.
A problem with Adidas.
When you see these things on the screen, you're gonna yelp.
Adidas
so
rolled
bad.
out these new jerseys. Yeah, there we go. What is that? Microsoft Paint jerseys. Now they rolled out these new jerseys to their partner schools: Kansas, Texas A&M, Indiana, Miami, Louisville, and I'm sure there are others.
They're all
These
bad.
are absolutely atrocious. I don't know if we have all of them on here, but it's disgusting. And the worst part is, this isn't the first time Adidas has pulled something like this. I don't know if you remember, but in 2013, Adidas debuted these special playoff jerseys with some of their partner schools. I know UCLA was one of them. Miami was one of them.
Yes.
Absolutely disgusting. Like they had the Warriors sleeves and they had these camo shorts.
bad.
It looks like remember in middle school when the athletic kid would come wearing the neon green
Yes.
Under Armour shirt and stuff?
Right.
It was just absolutely disgusting and atrocious.
Right.
Like why would you do that to
If
yourself?
Texas A&M falls off in the next few weeks, then we know exactly why. Adidas, you are to blame for Texas A&M falling off. So if you were betting on Texas A&M in any way, shape, or
Bet the
form,
under
and they
on
do bad,
everything.
yeah.
Because you know what they say. You look good, you feel good, you play
good.
And these guys do not look
They do
good,
not
let me
look
tell you what. Now, moving on, Michaela Blakes. She dropped 55 points in a game, breaking her own record for the most points scored by a freshman in a single game in NCAA basketball history. It was Vanderbilt and Auburn. I mean, 30 of these points were scored in the last 6 minutes of regulation and overtime. And on top of that, she led to a 15-point comeback. Michaela Blakes genuinely might be better than Caitlin Clark. Having a better, not career-wise,
Perhaps
but
not
she could be
yet.
having a better collegiate season when it's all said and done. That's my hot take for the day.
Perhaps
okay,
not yet.
you guys, jaws dropped, whatever. But I think so.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think?
I mean, she scored all 3 of her free throws to send the game in the overtime. The
So
performance.
she's a clutch shooter.
Yes, she is. But okay, this performance not only set a freshman record, but it also broke the single game SEC scoring record.
Record breaker.
Yes, and she became the first D1 player this century to record 55 points and 5 assists in a game. So yes, I'll agree. She's having a great season. She had a great game. She had 2 great games, but we cannot put her in the Caitlin Clark conversation yet, especially when we still have Juju in the league. We still have Paige Beckers.
I'm not saying
Hannah
that she's
Hidalgo?
better than Caitlin Clark right
You
now.
just said that,
bro. I'm just saying that she could potentially have a better season when it's all said and done.
Okay, moving on.
God.
UCF softball it went to the Clearwater tournament, so we're going to recap that. They dropped 3 games in the tournament to number 6 Florida State and number 5 Texas A&M. They lost 9-1 against A&M and 8-1 against FSU, and they tied Ohio State 4-4. Now, I'll give it to them. They played some incredible talent this weekend. This is a really young softball team that isn't quite up to the standard of play that's required this caliber of a tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, they could get there. I mean, they've been having a pretty solid season. They're 7-5 and, won, with the tie. And
yeah.
I think that this is a team that, obviously is going through some growing pains. A lot of UCF teams are going through some growing pains right now. And softball's just one of them. But I think the sky's the limit for these guys. I genuinely do believe that.
Maybe next season. Maybe next season.
Maybe
things
next
will
time,
look up.
champ.
Oh, I didn't like that.
We'll still go get some ice cream with the sprinkle. I don't know what bit I was doing there. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Are You Winning Son or whatever? Kathleen doesn't like my bits, and that really sucks. Anyways, UCF women's tennis is off to their best start in program history at 7-0. Their best start since 1997 when they started 6-0. Now, we are ranked number 20 in the nation, and multiple players on the roster are actually individually ranked. I like this individually ranked thing they do.
I do too.
Wouldn't it be awesome if college football did that for quarterbacks? Because then George Sanders would be ranked number 50th in the nation.
That would be so messy.
According to the February 5th ITA individual player rankings, freshmen Eo Elowini, I'm so sorry, is ranked at 87th, and Sophia Obelaway
oh my
is
God.
ranked at 102nd.
You just need to stop.
No, they're really good. I promise they're really good, and that's my fault. Take it.
We're going to move on. Olivia Linzer has been off to a hot start, starting on court number 1 for almost the entire year. Donatella Guarnari was a walk-on last year, but has been balling out and just received a full ride athletic scholarship.
Awesome.
So
I know I sent you guys the video of that.
She's amazing.
It was a really touching moment for sure.
It was.
And that is all the time we have on Rundown. I don't know what just happened in that segment. That was fun. But anyways, when we come back, we'll be taking a look at women's basketball across the country. Yeah, we'll be right back.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who? Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
And welcome back to Nighttime. This week of women's basketball has been packed full of close games, upsets, and more. But to start off this recap, let me take you over to Gamecock territory, where Dawn Staley hosted number 7 UConn. This was a rough game.
This was a very interesting game for Dawn Staley.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. So to start us out, Caitlin Chen leaves the girl in the dust as she storms down the court, swings it out to Azzy Fudd, who makes a drive attempt, but instead formulates a really dynamic offensive play as Jonna Alfie finishes the job with the layup. Second quarter is what we're going to move into in just a moment, but that was a beautiful layup.
Yeah, what a play.
Second quarter now, Paige Buckers with the assist on a big 3-point play.
Curry out there.
Dawn's not having it, guys. She is not having being down by 15. Second half now, Paige takes on down the court. Short pass to Fudd, who lays it in. No problems there. And Buckers once again facilitated long, diverse plays that ultimately led to the UConn victory, 87-58.
Yeah, she's
not a lot to say here.
Buckers is such a great player.
She
when
is.
she
She's
gets to the
very dynamic.
WNBA, it's going to be must-see TV with
I
her and
can't wait.
Caitlin Clark. Oh, you guys happy now, Caitlin Clark? Okay, moving into SEC territory, the Longhorns host LSU, and Michaela Williams coming in hot with her first defensive play of the game, resulting in this beautiful 3-point shot. It is good. Now, about to go into a half, a quick swing out and into Samaya Smith, who finishes the job. Now, second half, the last half was really LSU's half. It was really great, but Madison Booker knocks a girl flat on her back before the forward Justice Carlton puts it in. What a play. LSU trying to maintain their fourth quarter lead. The ball is intercepted by Brianna Preston, who gets their first Texas lead all game. Now, end of the fourth, this game is over, but being short on your three-pointer with 11 seconds left, it doesn't help. Sending the Tigers packing 65-58.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll pronounce names right, Matthew,
we'll
but
see.
let's move into Carolina, where the Tar Heels host their Wolfpack rival. Grace Townsend putting it up early. NC State trying to respond. Lorena missing in the paint, but Sanaya Rivers is ready to bail her out of it. Moving into the second half, it's a really tight game at this point. Madison Hayes finds an open lane and puts it through. Tie game in the fourth. This game was kept close all throughout, but unfortunately, the Pack, it came down to the last second free throw shot by Grace Thompson. Put this game to bed, 66-65. Now, I'm a Carolina girl. I'm an NC State fan. UNC is one of our biggest rivals, and I'm crushed. We lost in the men's literally last night, too. So,
I'm mad at you.
I'm not having a good day.
I'm mad at you. Hey, Kathleen, I'm mad at you.
Hey.
You said something very mean in the VO, and I want you to apologize. I want you to apologize.
No.
I didn't have my coffee this morning. I woke up late. I'm sorry to everyone whose name I got wrong this episode.
But
we're going to move it on. We're going to move it on. We're going to introduce Augie Aronson to talk about women's college basketball all around the nation. Augie, how's it going?
It's going good. Thanks, you guys, for having me on. Sorry you didn't get to have your coffee this morning, Matthew, but yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. I'll grab some after the show.
Yeah. Well, Augie, we're going to get right into these questions. Is this a wake-up call for Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks?
I mean, you're the number 6 team in the country, and you lose by 30 at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call. You're, back-to-back national champions? Yeah, it's definitely a wake-up call. They shot 17% from 3. That can't happen, while UConn shot 43%. And they got out-rebounded by 20. Wow. They're one of the better interior teams in the country in the paint and in rebounding. So yes, it was a wake-up call. I think it was just one of those nights, though, for South Carolina where it just wasn't going their way. And, look, they'll bounce back. There's a reason why Dawn Staley got that contract extension she did. There's a reason why she's won the national championships that she has. She's going to get this team right, and they're going to get ready and get rolling for SEC tournament play.
I agree. They have a lot of the same talent that they did last year. So just seeing this poor performance out of them, I mean, I know Dawn Staley is just absolutely infuriated. You know those girls are going to be in the locker room watching tape all week to try and get prepped for their next big game.
Yeah. I mean, look, she's one of the best coaches in college basketball, in my opinion, but this was a rough game. I think that this is a little call for concern, but like you guys said, I think,
I think they're going to bounce back and be just fine. But, Augie, is Paige Bueckers the best player in women's college basketball right now?
I love Paige, but this hurts me to say this, but no, it's not Paige. It's Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame. She's averaging, 25, 5, and 4, and she's leading the country in steals with 4 a game. Yeah, 4 steals a game. And, I mean, she's a big reason why Notre Dame's the #1 team in the country. And, yeah, or if you want to counter with Hannah, you could go Juju Watkins, who has been balling at USC. She put up 38 the other day against UCLA to hand UCLA their first loss of the season. So, yeah, Paige is having a great season, and she should get credit for the season she's having. And she's got UConn rolling, but currently I don't think she's the best player in college basketball.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Hannah Hidalgo is the best player in women's college basketball right now. To me, it's Juju Watkins. I mean, she's only a sophomore. She's averaging 24 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists. I don't know how you can ask for more from a sophomore player. Obviously, USC is performing very well this season, which definitely helps. But I think they could step up their game even further, and I think Juju Watkins is exactly the player that's going to do that for USC.
I don't know. I mean, Paige has been this gal for I feel like a while now. I think she's having a really great season. I think when the draft comes around, she's going to be pretty high up there.
I love Paige Bueckers, but I think that she is more of a headliner than she is an actual best player in the league.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying?
She's the box office attraction.
Thank you, Augie.
Okay, she's not.
She's the ticket seller.
Okay, I get that now. I can see that. But anyways, is Notre Dame deserving of the #1 spot in this recent top 25 poll? What do you think?
Absolutely, they are. Yes, they have the weird weird little, everybody knows that Notre Dame's independent in some sports and not in other, but they play in the ACC for basketball. But absolutely they are. Absolutely. The top 5 teams in the country, obviously besides themselves at number 1, they played 3 of them. They played UConn, Texas, and USC. They've beaten all of them. Now, they have not beaten UCLA, but that's because they have not played UCLA. So, but yes, absolutely they are deserved of the number 1 spot, as they've played some of the better teams in college basketball, and they've won all season against those teams.
Yeah, I mean, they've been consistent winners all season, but I will say they have played less games than everyone else in the top 5. So I think that that's also a factor. I think that maybe if they played more games, that they could have more losses handed to them. But I'm very interested to see a matchup between UCLA, and I would love to see a rematch between Notre Dame and Texas. Like, I think that now the season has progressed farther. I think that Texas could really put up a big fight against Notre Dame.
I think the argument can be made that Texas could be in this number 1 spot, but I don't hate Notre Dame being up here, so I'm pretty okay with it. But we're going to move on to our Game of the Week picks. Put it on, Kathleen. 0-4. Can you guys actually believe this? This is actually insane.
Can my computer
we
wear
let
it?
Kathleen. No, you have to wear it. Put it on.
Take it.
We let Kathleen pick the game, pick everything, pick her picks first. We're trying to give her everything to get her first win of the season. Kathleen, go ahead.
I don't want to wear
it. You have to. It's a nighttime tradition. Wear it.
Kathleen, should you start fading your own picks? Like whatever your gut feeling is telling you going the opposite way?
I made like 500 so far this season.
You've made money fading, Kathleen?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Guys.
Go ahead.
This is bullying.
What's your pick?
Okay, so the game is Kentucky versus LSU, and it's the women's game. So we're moving into women's basketball for the Game of the Week pick this week. I'm going to go LSU. I think that they just have insurmountable talent on this team, but what the heck do I know, apparently? So
I'm going to go Kentucky.
No!
Because, is it the upset? Sure, LSU is favored to win this one, but LSU dropped like we saw in that VO, and I think they're going to drop this one. Augie, what do you think?
I think the rent's going on Kentucky with you, Matthew. Now that Kathleen chose LSU.
You're only saying that, bro.
Augie, I love it. Now we'll move into a preview of UCF women's basketball. What do you think are some of the expectations we should, look for next season?
Look, there's no sugarcoating this season. It's not been a good season by any stretch of the imagination. We are 14th in the Big 12. We're 9-16. Our home record, we're above 500. That's pretty good. But we are atrocious, and I mean atrocious on the road. We are 1-9. That cannot happen. But yeah, look. So for next season, we're a team that struggles offensively with efficiency. We don't shoot the ball in particularly well, and our best shooters are leaving. 3 of our top 4 scorers are all seniors and are graduating. Now, in this age of college athletics, obviously teams can change quickly with the transfer portal. You never know who we bring in or what freshman comes in and really lights it up, like Michaela Blake at Vandy. But overall, I'm not too optimistic about our season next year's season. I just don't have a good feeling about it.
This is going to have to be a major rebuilding year.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have to get some crazy good recruits, and we're not going to get good recruits because the team sucks this year.
Oh, harsh words. Harsh words.
But it's honest. It's honest.
They're not playing their best, but Augie, I think you might be right.
You're not
sadly.
playing like you want good recruits coming in for the next season.
We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for coming on today, Augie. It's always a pleasure to have you. And thank you to all our guests, for coming on today. Now, we'll be taking a week off next week. I know you're going to miss us so much, but you can catch us again for another episode of Nighttime. Until then, I don't know how to pronounce names. She doesn't know how to pick games. Have a good one.